Hi folks, welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch. It's been a really nice weather-wise day here in the Ozarks, but that's going to change here in probably about 24 hours or so, maybe a little bit less. And it's not just the Ozarks. I mean, it looks like it's everything from like northeast Texas all the way up into the Mississippi Valley has a chance of some storms, even some severe storms. There's chances of tornadoes in some areas, they're already saying. Heavy rains. So this is tomorrow. So if you live kind of in those areas, you probably already kind of know about it, but I'd be watchful because this is that time of the year, usually, especially around here, like the last couple of weeks of October, moving into November, when things are really starting to cool off, it is always possible for there to be some pretty severe storms pop up. You think, that time of the year is over, and then it hits you. So I would be watchful of that. Tomorrow, speaking of tomorrow, the weather, tomorrow is the big National No Kings protest. There was one a few months ago, and there seemed to be quite a few people at that one. It's in different major cities, but it wasn't anything, I guess, spectacular, at least when it comes to protests and riots. But this time might be different. If you don't know what No Kings is, it's basically protesting against the Trump administration. It's the left, they're protesting against him being king and acting like a king is what they say. And the possibility of tomorrow's things, protests and all that kind of stuff, becoming more than what they were the last time, I think are bigger. There's obviously a lot more stuff going on, especially domestically. We've got National Guard being deployed into liberal cities. We've watched ICE be much, much more aggressive in its rounding up of illegals. And so that has the left up and roaring. Trump has, deemed Antifa a terrorist organization, an international terrorist organization. And then in the last few days, we've heard people from the Trump administration referring to the people that are participating in the No Kings protest as terrorists, Hamas, violent protesters. They're not saying that, among the protesters, there are going to be potential violent actors. They're saying if you show up with one of these protests, then you're just this far left evil person, which is going to, I think, also kind of cause anger and emotions and stuff to escalate. Now, are these things being paid for by certain far left people like George Soros or Iran or whatever? Yeah, it's possible, very likely. I don't think that means that everyone that shows up is part of it and being paid, but they could definitely be organized. Here's the thing. Is it something for you to raise your alert status? I think the simple answer is yes for some of you. But I don't think it's necessarily going to get out of control. But again, a lot of things have happened. Charlie Kirk assassination, multiple types of shootings and explosions and stuff that's happened. A lot since this last No Kings protest, which was several months ago. So I think that there is a possibility of this being more violent. And so for those of you that live in the big cities, the moderate cities, or any town that you think this might happen in, I'd definitely be watchful. I'd keep my alert status a little high. If you have to be out and about in the next 24 to 48 hours, you should probably have a way to defend yourself, have a plan to get home, an alternative plan, and a tertiary plan to get home. You should probably be very well aware of defensive places where you're at, positions. So when you go into a store, is there cover? Is there something that you can get behind that protects you? What are the exits? All that kind of stuff. I think that's just the way it should be. You should be doing that all the time. Yesterday when I taught the class, the class that I taught, I said I'm a weirdo. When I walk into a place, a business, a building, it doesn't matter. And it's even before I walk in. It's when I leave my home. It's when I'm driving down the road. It's when I'm pulling into the parking lot. I am looking for exits, threats, defensive positions, things that could be used as a weapon. This is normal for me. It's been this way most of my life, especially my adult life. So if I walk into a Walmart or a grocery store or whatever, I'm walking in, kind of scanning everyone. I'm looking for places that I could get behind if I need to, if something happens. I'm looking for things that can be used as a weapon. I'm trying to figure out where are the exits at. That's not always easy to find. But where would they be at? A lot of times they're in big stores, they're painted up on the wall up high. So I'm looking, okay, restrooms, office, whatever, layaway, those kind of signs typically will lead you somehow to an exit. So I'm doing that all the time anyways. And with what's going on tomorrow, for at least some of you and some of where you live, you might think of kind of behaving that way. Because while I still am not 100% convinced that these things will spiral out of control, some of them could, one or two of them could. And with all the things that have transpired since the last No Kings protest, the things that the Trump administration has said and President himself has said, the things that's been done, I think there is a definite increase in chance of these becoming violent. The president, I think the DOJ or someone was saying that there will be, ICE agents at these places. There could be National Guard in some places where these protests are being had. And things like that, those kind of groups showing up or those agencies showing up to this group could cause things to escalate and not de-escalate. So that's a big deal. It's something that I want you to be aware of. There's not been a whole lot of play this time, it seems, on the No Kings. And so maybe no one will show up. Maybe it won't be a big deal. But based on what they did the last time and the turnout, and then what has been happening since then, I think there's a chance that the turnout could be much higher and it could be much more aggressive, which could lead to violence. So just telling you. Now, on that same note of potential violence, mass violence, things like that, our group that we started here in the county, it's an official county entity now, but our emergency response team, you've heard me talk about it many times. We started off with the fire department. I'm still with the fire department. We still do stuff with the fire department, but now we're county-wide. Anyways, we have been putting together training classes to offer to the public, people around where we live, and even those of you that watch this channel. So the training that I mentioned, we did that yesterday, okay? We put on a training class. We're going to do that training class again in November on the 16th. That's a Sunday. I'm doing it on a Sunday, thinking that if some of you may want to travel from out of town, 2, 3, 4 hours away, that gives you a little bit of time to do the class, get home if you have to get up the next day and go to work. It's going to be from 9 to 5. This one's going to be a little bit longer, so because we're adding a little bit more to it, but we're also providing lunch. So this last one, you had to bring your own lunch, go buy it. This time, we're providing lunch that will be incorporated in the whole fee. And so it's $100 to get you a ticket. There's only going to be 20 tickets. There's only 20 slots for this training. And so this training is mass casualty triage, to learn how to do rapid triage on someone to save them in that moment, that rapid medical treatment in that moment. They're bleeding out. You got to do something. You've got seconds. You've got a minute or two. What do you do? And it's not just with one person. It's what do you do when you've got 20 or 30 of them that way. And so you're doing rapid assessment triage. We're learning how to do trauma care. This is more than just first aid. This class is based on TECC. It's based on protocols and that are established with Homeland Security, Centers for Disease Control. I know CDC, we hate them. I don't like Homeland Security either. But they do put out good standards, okay? And the Committee for Tactical Emergency Casualty Care. So that's this class is based on those standards, and it's customized for folks like you because we focus a lot on rural environments. Many of you don't live in the big cities, but we also put a lot of focus and talk about, okay, well, what do we do? How do we handle this situation when there isn't the backup? And in the medical world, the backup's the ambulance. You know, if it was a defense, if it's just dealing with the shooter, the backup, you're facing the shooter, right? Well, your backup's going to be the police showing up. Well, what do you do when there's no police? We do the same thing with this medical class. You're taking care of all these medical, these trauma victims, you know, with your pre-hospital care that you've done your training on. But pre-hospital means that, you know, at some point there will be a hospital, right? So what do you do when there isn't one? What do you do when the ambulance doesn't show up? Because there is none. And so we talk about it also from that aspect. So it's really good training. We do a lot of hands-on stuff. We let you play with a lot of medical gear. And then we do some live drills. So if you're interested in that class, it's only $100. You're going to be really, really hard, you know, desperate and difficult to find this level of training for only $100 for in-person. So anyways, there'll be a link down in the description below for you to do that. And of course, all the money doesn't go to me. I don't get paid to do this. We're all volunteers. This goes to our emergency response team. But if you want that training, click on the link. You can find out more about it. I suspect those 20 tickets will sell out. Those 20 slots for this class will sell out fast. But anyways, all the information will be on that link. That's the kind of stuff we need to be doing. Not just buying and stockpiling cans of food, buckets of beans. We need to be training. Real world training scenarios, folks. Not going out and shooting at a paper target. A lot of people can do that. That's not difficult. A child can shoot a gun at a paper target and hit it. Can you move and shoot? Can you shoot under fire? Can you be accurate? Are you able to, handle a field of fire and know where to get to cover and how to advance in that field to take out a target? Do you know how to do that kind of stuff? Have you ever done it before? Have you ever trained in how to do it and done it live fire? Same way with medical. You may know how to stop bleeding because, you've read it and you've watched a video and stuff, but have you actually done it? Have you stopped bleeding? Have you started breathing? Have you started someone breathing? Have you handled severe burns? Have you moved the bodies? Have you gone through how to triage someone and figure out if this person's dead, if this person's worth saving, if this person is the priority? And have you done that in a live, real world type scenario? That's what this class is teaching. And so if you're interested in it, click it on the link. And if there's something like that around you, you don't have to come to my class. There's classes like this all over. But this is the type of stuff that you need to be doing because the condition of the world right now is getting worse. You may disagree with me. That's fine. You have a right to. But things are getting worse. And we need to be more and more prepared every day. Folks, it's time to get your houses in order and to prepare yourselves mentally, physically, and spiritually. Thanks for watching. Catch you in the next video.